They sacrifice themselves to come to church. I think today it's different. Like coming to a church is sacrifice for a lot of people. No, they sacrifice themselves for the privilege of getting together. They would do anything to get together. That's what it means. They do anything together and fellowship with one another because they love each other. They would even sell their possessions. They knew that people were battling in the church. They do stuff to help each other. That's right. And so this is kind of what the Bible talks about when it talks about planting church. We don't export something that's not working. We export something that's working. We export love. That's our product. Okay. Nothing works like the local church when it's working well. Nothing sucks like the local church when it's broken.
Yeah.
Why? Because our emotions, our time, our treasure, our talents go into making a congregation work. And when it's broken, it hurts us. It's like when things are wobbly, everybody hurts inside. But nothing works like the local church when it's working well. You see, the church is the hope of the world. Can I tell you something? You can quote me on this. Do you know that God's not going to save the world through politics?
Yeah.
And as much as we believe that South Africa needs political change and America needs political change, and do you know that the change in the world will not come through politics? It's not God's plan. It's not God's plan. But we spend more time talking about that than we talk about the church being the hope of the world.
Yeah.
God's plan for this world is not politics. God's plan is not social reform. God's plan is not socialism or capitalism. God's plan for the world is not philosophy. God's plan for the world is not anything other than the local church. It's not economic reform. God's plan for the world is not that everybody has cash in their pockets. God's plan for the world is the church of Jesus Christ. And Jesus said this. He said, and this, I get upset. If you want to know what one of my pet peeves is this. When Oaks is like, oh, check, there's a blood moon, it's the end of the world. Or there's this sign, somewhere there's wars and rumors of war. Jesus says, they will increase until the time there. That's the birth pains, man. That's the baby stuff. And he says, but this sign, that you can, he says, when the gospel of the kingdom has been preached in all the earth, then the end will come. That's the sign. Not, is Donald Trump the Antichrist? Actually, if he is, I'll be so happy because we can go to heaven. If he's not, guess what? A whole bunch of people are spending their time on the internet. They're wasting their time.
Yeah.
Rather devote yourself to apostles' doctrine, to fellowship, to breaking of bread, to prayer. That's profitable. Getting caught up in conspiracies, that's unprofitable. And the Bible says, it warns against that. Don't give your time, your energy, and your mind to that nonsense, fluff and dust. Why? Because the gospel is the good news. The end of the world? Well, that's bad news. What does the gospel, the word gospel mean? It says this. The gospel, Evangelion. The good news. Now, Evangelion is an interesting Greek word because it comes from the same root as angel, messenger. Angelos, messenger. Evangelion, good message. And that's got to come through a good messenger. And the church is the good news. So what did Jesus say about the good news? He came to earth as the first real missionary that we understand. Okay? Jonah was a type of a missionary because he went to Nineveh. But Jesus demonstrated what it is to give up heaven to grab hold of something on earth. So, what did he do? He gets full of the Holy Spirit. He goes into the wilderness, gets tempted by the devil. He comes out of that in the power of the Holy Spirit. First thing he does is he opens up the scroll of Isaiah and quotes Isaiah. The Bible says he went to the place where it was written and he says this, the Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to preach good news. He preached the gospel to the poor. He sent me to proclaim relief to the captives. In other words, to go and speak life to slaves and to people in prison. Doesn't mean their bars or their shackles get removed. It just means that they're free on the inside, maybe not free on the outside. Good news, but the relief, recovery of sight to the blind. Those who see but spiritually can't. That's a blind person. There's no one blinder than you who's got eyes but can't see. To recover sight to the blind. To proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. What's that? That God is not angry with you. That's good news, isn't it?
Yeah.
That God has sent Jesus to redeem you out of your pit. The only one who's suffering is you. God is not suffering because of your sin. He wants to rescue you from it. That's good news. God is not angry because of you. Do you know that God is eternally happy in heaven? He gets angry at stuff that happens, but it doesn't mess up his day. God is self-contained, fully self-existing. That's good news. It's good news that we don't have to appease the God that today he's happy with me, tomorrow he's miffed with me, and so things go wrong because God's miffed with me. God's always happy with us. We're his kids. He's a good father. He's always happy to see us. And when we fall down and hurt ourselves, he'll pick us up and he'll kiss the anal. He's not going to chase us away. We think he is. That's good news, that God is happy with you. It's good news that when you wipe out, he's first there, and he's grabbing you, and he's holding you, and he's saying it's okay, you'll be fine. Because he's a good dad. That's good news. See, now the church, when we export church, this is what we take out. The fact that Jesus is good. Do you know you can go to probably 10 churches in your vicinity and hear on a Sunday that Jesus is bad? That he's angry with you and it's going to judge you and it's going to beat you up. You better get your life in order. You can go to 10 churches in your area that will tell you that. You can go to other churches in your area that will tell you that Jesus just loves you and you don't even have to adjust anything. He's just Santa Claus in heaven, which is also not the truth. See that what we export is a product of God's goodness in spite of the badness of the world, the badness of us, but also the fact that we love one another intimately. You see that in that relationship that Paul has with that church. You see that there's an intimacy that's transported into the new church. It's the DNA of a church plant, the DNA of a new church in an area, the DNA of a new home group, because a home group is a church plant. Eh? A church is not just because it's a building, it's got a name. That's not a church. The church is the people. The ecclesia, the gathering together of the saints. The start of a new church plant. And when we're talking about church planting, guys, we're talking about getting the gospel into walking distance of people in South Africa or anywhere in the world. Being a relevant place where someone in your neighborhood can touch Jesus and meet Jesus through people. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about a building with dead people in it. That's not a church. Just because its name says church doesn't mean it's alive. The evidence is people's lives are changed. The gospel is good news. It is the answer to the hopelessness in the world. That's what the church better be. Guys, when we get together, we're not talking politics, guys. Honestly. We're not talking about how bad the country is and how bad the economy is and how the economy needs to change, how the government needs to change, how this needs to change, how that needs to change. We're not talking about crime. The effects of crime, we comfort and we build and when we get together, home groups, and we get together in church, we devoted to what? The Apostles' doctrine, to fellowship, to breaking bread, to pray. We're devoted to the good news, not to the bad news. There's enough bad news out there. The church is the source of hope, not the source of hopelessness. Okay, so that's what being church and doing church is. Okay. So the gospel is radical. I've got a few points here. It's radical. The gospel is not the good news in isolation. In other words, the good news on the internet only or the good news just to you. The gospel is always in connection with people. Because it's good news to the lost, to the broken, to the hurting, it's good news to the saints. The gospel is only good news when it is inside of a life-giving community. Because the gospel is good news. The gospel of salvation does not just come to Jesus and you're saved. It's come to Jesus and you're saved. He takes the lonely, puts them in families. You're not only saved, but now you belong to brothers and sisters who are sons and daughters of the Most High God. I want to talk about the kingdom in the next session, because it's quarter to now. It is an upside-down kingdom. It is counterculture. The church is a beacon of hope and the way we do things radically different in a dying world. The gospel is real people, and the church is real people living out real lives with real hope. The church is people caring for one another and doing life together. And I understand everybody's got a different capacity for compassion. There's a reality to that. The church is about people praying for each other, standing shoulder to shoulder. If not, you've signed up for the wrong gospel. And that's why I want to say media gospel is no gospel at all. I'm telling you. In fact, I want to say that media gospel is very often false gospel. Because you can't come to a 7,000 seater church and honestly have 10% of those people being musicians and living out the gift for Jesus. You can't. It's not possible. It's not possible. Because in a 7,000 seater church, you've still got 10 acts on stage. Yeah. Then it becomes professional. Yeah. It's not about ministry anymore. It's about hierarchy again and paid staff. It's tricky, that stuff, eh? We've got to get this stuff right in our hearts, guys, before we say what the gospel is and what church looks like. Yeah. We've got to say, what is the Bible? What does Jesus define church to look like? What does that look like? Does it look like we start at 9 o'clock and we've got a sound system? I doubt it. I doubt it. It's about the intimacy of the relationships between us. Apostles' doctrine, fellowship, breaking bread and prayer. Is it about what I get? No, I think it's more about what I get and give. It's about me having a value because I contribute to the well-being of people around me. I think church is community as it is in heaven. Let it be done on earth. I think that's church. A taste of heaven. When people come in here, when they meet you, they need to meet something of heaven on earth. That's what we're talking about. Church planting or home group planting or being missional communities. Communities of mission. And end up going to pray. We're going to have tea time. Father, Lord, some of this stuff is so controversial. It really flips what we know and understand your kingdom to be upside down. But thank you that you have an upside down kingdom. It works totally different to the ways of the world. Your currency is love and faith and people. For God so loved the world that he gave his best. Now we're recipients of the best, but Father, may we also be partakers and givers of the best. May our partnership in the gospel be where we're partnering with you in your plan and not you partnering with us in our plan. You will never bless the plans of man unless they're your plans. Yeah. You only bless your will. Your will's only revealed in your word. Open your word, Lord, that we can see what is hidden in there. In Jesus' name. Thank you, Father. Amen. Amen. Cool. Tea time.